So we learned a lot about merging, we had a look at rebase, and to make things even more exciting, we have another way to combine commits or changes from different branches, cherry picking. Now, what is that and how does it compare to merging and rebasing? A quick recap first. We have the merge. I'm referring to the non-fast forward merge here. And if we create such a merge, then we create a merge commit. And with that, well, a new commit is created, incorporating the changes we made in both our master and the potential feature branch, for example. We also had a look at rebase. Well, rebase changes a single commit's parent. You saw this with the feature and master branch example, where suddenly our third master commit became the previous commit before our feature branch changes. Well, in the end, this means we created new commit IDs for what? Well, for all commits which were rebased. In this case, the case of this project example here, this referred to the commits in our feature branch. Now, what is this cherry pick thing now? Well, cherry picking means that we add a specific commit to a specific branch. We turn this commit into the head basically, but very important, we create copies of a commit and therefore also create a new ID. Now at this point the confusion is quite high, I guess, because merging and rebasing was clear, but what does this thing now do? Why would I want to take a specific commit and bring it on top of a specific branch, and why wouldn't I use a merge for that? Well, these are things to discover in the next lecture, again, in a practical example where we will compare the merge with the cherry pick. We will not use the rebase here because I guess it's quite clear at this stage that rebasing has a different purpose, a different way of how it works. So what is cherry picking now and how does it compare to a merge? Well, for this, I'm back in the project and I'm here in the master branch. And in this master branch, we go to the M1 text file and we could say we work on something in the master branch and say some important feature. And as you probably saw, we have a typo here, important, there is an R missing, right? Let's keep this in mind. So we add this change and say we committed, added text to M1, for example. And now we create a new branch for a second feature. So we say git checkout -b, and the branch could be called feature 2 to stay very creative here. So we have this new branch, which, as you can see, also holds this change, of course. Now in this new branch, we are now working on this new feature. So we create a new folder. Let's call it maybe new feature, like this. And in here, we create a new file. Let's say f new1. So the first new file in here, a text file. Now we of course want to commit this change. So we say we add it and we commit it, right? So f new1 would that be? And now we suddenly see, oh, we have a typo in our master file. So this typo right here, a colleague is maybe working on the master, so we don't want to access the master at this stage, but we should quickly fix this typo. Now we can of course do this here in the feature branch. So we add the R, so this is correct. Let's save this and also add this change and commit it. So we say typo in M1 fixed. This. Nice. And now we can continue working on our project and say we create maybe another file in here. So f new2.txt, for example, and we also add this change and commit it. F new2, like this. Oops, like this. I wanted to clear the screen. So what if you now want to add only the commit which contains this typo fix here? Because in our log at the moment, we have plenty of different commits. And if you would try a merge, then this is possible, but you would merge all the commits basically. So all the changes incorporated in these last commits, this would mean that also this new feature folder, including these files, would become part of the master branch. So merging is probably not the way to go here. But we have this cherry picking concept, and cherry picking allows us to exactly pick specific commits and to only incorporate changes made in this commit. So typically, if you merge something, the commits, well, base on their parents. So as I said, all changes made here and here are also part of this latest commit in the end. But with cherry picking, we can just say, I want to incorporate changes only made in this commit here, for example. So we take the ID and we keep this ID in mind. I'll show it to you later. But the important thing is that with cherry picking, we will create a copy of this commit with a new ID. Also one of the disadvantages here. So you have duplicate commits in the end, but that's what sometimes is not a problem, but you have to keep that in mind. So however, I took this ID. Now we switch back to our master branch here, clear this. And now we say git cherry-pick and now refer to this specific commit. If we do that, yeah, what do we see? Suddenly our M1 text here has the typo fixed. We get the confirmation here that this commit was taken and added to the master. And if we now log the data, well, you can see that we only have this added text to M1 commit, which was our previous head in the master. And now we have this typo in M1 fixed. None of the feature commits we added in this feature 2 branch, besides the specific fix commit, was added. So the text files we added are now not part of the master. And if I now quit this and paste the ID of that commit, and maybe make the terminal a little bit bigger here. So now we can scroll up a bit complicated. Yes, here we are. Now you can also see that we created a new commit. So the content, so this fixing of the typo is the same. But if you compare the IDs of this commit here and the commit ID we used to do the cherry pick, then this is a totally different one. So that's important to keep in mind. You create copies of that commit. And if we switch again to our feature 2 branch and log the data, you can see that we still have our fnew2 and fnew1 files and also this typo thing, but the typo was only added to our master branch. Let's clear this again. And with that, you now also saw how cherry picking works and how it compares to a merge in this case. With that, we can finally conclude the work on our different branches. Now I just want to conclude this module with some additional nice commands which can be helpful in your daily work in Git.